Hello to you. Hello, I'm excited to see all of you. And today we will watch video about India again because watch videos also about China because these countries they kind of fascinating. They have amazing cultures, and also they have pretty interesting economy situations. And pretty often people talking about that because of their population, these countries will have they have like huge opportunities. And yes, that's why today I will watch video, and this video is called "How India Will Take Over the World Economy in 10 Years." This video has 1 million views. That's why I decided to watch this. And this video was made mm, 1 year ago. And what does it mean? That it's left like 9 years by opinion of this person, Andrew Jik. I don't know. By his opinion, it will take like 10 years for India to become the world economy. I'm a little bit skeptical, to be honest, that it will take 10 years, but I mean, it is huge country and huge job must be done. It is very optimistic, but it doesn't mean that this country doesn't have, yes, because of population, it has huge opportunity for growth. Um, just I don't believe that it will take 10 years, maybe a little bit longer. And we will see, maybe he will give to us interesting um, explanation why he thinks so, or maybe it is really like this and I am dumb and to know so many facts. I hope that in this video I will understand his opinion why he believes it will take only 10 years. Anyway, I see already a message from you, Lisa Marshall. Happy to see you, excited to see every time. Heart to you. And hello to from Adams. Hello, Alex from San Diego, California. Good to see you as well, Lisa Marshall. Yes, happy to see you, Adams. And nice to see you. I think that today, what is day today? Tomorrow I have plans, if it will be tomorrow, to watch something about China, how China will become superpower, or also it will be like a topic, or what countries which have such opportunities to for economical growth. China and India, maybe Germany. Do you know? What do you think? Germany, because of population, they have some kind of limit uh, because a lot it depends, of course, from population. But I don't know. I don't know. We will see. We will see. We will try to watch these days some videos about superpowers. But before we will start, it will be amazing if you will support me. You can leave your like and you can leave your comments below. What country has such economical potential? Yeah, because it is all about potential and how you see in future, how you're looking towards future. If you're looking towards future a little bit pessimistic and means like not uh, so much growth you will be expected. Yeah. Anyway, yep. Let's go. Let's go. One moment, and I know that you like to travel. Some of you like to travel to India. It would be nice. What's
All right,
happening
so
to
this
me? It would be nice if you will share with your opinion. Maybe you know what people think about this, because one time ago I was watching video, and this video was interview of Indian people, Indians. They were talking about growth of population. What can I say? It was they were like some of them were skeptical about this because in reality it is more competition, not so much. Yeah, it is a much more complicated situation for youth and for their opportunities to realize themselves. But some of them, they were talking like it is amazing. Yeah, it depends what people were talking about. Okay, for me it will be interesting to know your opinion too. Hello to last one, happy to see you, and hello to Adrian Black. Hello, nice to see you. Let's go.
This is exciting. Let's talk about India. Home to the second most populous country with 18%.
Okay, let's start from the beginning because
Alright, so this is exciting. Let's talk about India. Home to the second most populous country with 18% of the world's population is for things.
of course now we know that it is number one by population country, and maybe it is just symbolic, but still it makes sense.
Things like Bollywood and its massive movie industry, the sport of cricket, which is known as the second religion, and it's the birthplace of yoga over 5,000 years ago. India is also home to one of the 7 wonders of the world, the Taj Mahal, and it has some of the most beautiful mountains, palaces, a rich culture of food, spices, silks, and they even gave us the world's most famous diamonds that have ever existed in human history, like the Blue Hope, which the Titanic diamond was based on. And it also happens to be home to the largest gathering of people on planet Earth, the Kumbh Mela. In 2013, over 120 million people came here to celebrate, and Mark Twain once famously said, "India is the cradle of the human race, the birthplace of human speech, the mother of history, the grandmother of legend, and the great-grandmother of tradition." India also gave us the game of chess, which was derived from an ancient game called Chaturanga. But there's a couple other interesting things about India you might not have known about, which is that its economy is set for explosive growth this coming decade. At the end of 2022, Morgan Stanley published a research paper on future investment opportunities, and in that paper, they wrote that India is on track to become the world's 3rd largest economy by 2027.
And yes, and here we have this phrase that India is on track to become the world's 3rd largest. 3rd? Only 3rd? Largest economy by 2027, surpassing Japan and Germany. And they have the 3rd largest stock markets by 2030. Thanks to global trends and key investments the country has made in technology and energy. I'm surprised. Why only 3rd? India is disappointing me. Hello to you, Sam Smith Q. Heart to you. Happy to see you. And yes, why only 3rd? I was thinking that we are talking about the world economy take over the. I was thinking to be number 1 because look at population. Yeah, but and again, I didn't think that it will take like 10 years, maybe 15, like this. India is smart. India doesn't like conflicts, and India has quite smart political decisions. They decided like problems with wars, it is not their problems. They have own problems, internal, and they're trying to trade with everyone. This is quite amazing because yeah, it is cool. And by surpassing, we can see in 2027 they can surpass Japan and Germany. Japan and Germany, and have the 3rd largest stock market by 2030. Oh, I was expecting something faster. Maybe like no, it is cool. It is cool. I mean, like it is amazing. It is amazing. Maybe like it is. It is taking time. It is taking time. Okay.
Surpassing both Japan and Germany, and they'll have the 3rd largest stock market by the year 2030. The research paper then goes on to say that India's GDP could more than double from $3.5 trillion that it's at today to over $7.5 trillion by the year 2031. And
it looks like it is it is cool, but they can do better, I believe.
also estimates that the Bombay Stock Exchange, which is India's stock market, could grow at 11% per year on average until they reach a $10 trillion market cap. Now, what the heck does all that mean? It means that India's stock market could outperform the US's over the next decade. And in a world that's waiting for a recession, the world that's experiencing negative growth in the equity market, where bonds are barely making any money for people, this could be a huge investment opportunity. And as somebody who has never invested outside of the US, as someone who's not an expert on this, I wanted to find out exactly what is going on. So in today's video, I want to share with you everything I learned and how I could potentially use this information to maybe make money from it. I'm super excited, so let's get right into it. Hi, my name is Andre J.
How he did it. I like how sometimes YouTubers advertising themselves, like everything that I learned, I will give you like all my knowledge which I know. It is like so fun to see, and of course real experts will say probably different situation can be. And yeah, I see Sam K, happy to see you. Heart to you, it's nice to see you. Also, I see to you, Wildcat. You said good evening, everyone. Wildcats, happy to see you, and heart to you too. Oh my god, let's go.
Jack, hope you're doing well, come for the finance, and stay for the crazy decade. So visualcapitalist.com has a really interesting prediction about what will happen in 2023. Like artificial intelligence, for example, will pop up everywhere. And we're seeing this already with tools. Even though we're seeing Bitcoin slightly bounce up this year, it might not last. And that apparently global recession risk is still high thanks to interest rates increasing and staying that way for the rest of the year. And that real global GDP will be between 1.5 to 2% thanks to the slowdown in economic growth, and India will have a really strong year. And when I read that one, it led me down a rabbit hole where I found research papers published by banks like Morgan Stanley and S&P Global, which say that India will be one of only 3 economies in the world that can generate more than $400 billion in annual economic output growth from 2020.
3. That only 3 economies in the world. It is probably China, India, and the USA. Like all 3 countries will be able, like, it's logical. China, India, and the USA, because China already can do this. USA probably, not probably, but for sure can do this to generate like to such amount of economical growth. China, India, and the USA. And until 2028, after, it will be 500 billions. Yeah, it makes sense, it makes sense.
2023 onward, and this will rise to more than 500 billion after 2028. Now that translates to 11% growth to the GDP. So is that actually good or bad, and how can you even tell? Here are some stats by comparison. In 2022, the US GDP was estimated to grow 2%. And this year, in 2023, if there's a recession, which most people seem to believe there will be, economists are predicting that 2023, the US GDP will grow 0.2%. Just 0.2. And it won't even...
2023, this video was made 1 year ago. Probably it is a difference you can find how it was really was. I believe that for economy which already developed, to grow further is more difficult than for economy which has a bigger population, 4 times more than the USA has economy of has population of India, 4 times more. Of course. Even more. I mean, of course, for them to make this economical growth easier to have first year's results. The more country will be developed, the more difficult to have economical growth. That's just suggestion. The more it's developed, the more difficult to continue to grow. because you need always new people. Always you need to new people. Without people, you will not have this economical growth, how they say it. Without people, it's impossible. Okay, if you need, some case said, if you need toilet paper, forget Andrex, buy a Wenger flag and use that. I have no idea what you're talking about, Sam K. Have no idea. Yes, thank you, Lisa Marshall, for giving this message, because it is important to know that here he said like 2% GDP. It was in 2022. In 2023, it grew on 2.5% GDP. Yes, Chinese economy looked like they have insanely growth for during decades, sometimes 5%, 7%, something like this. It's crazy. And that's what we expecting from India these years, because India, it's all about people, and India are smart about policy that they're okay, they're doing own stuff, they're thinking about own business, they do not care, and it's cool, it's very cool.
And recover until 2024, when we will grow 1.7%. Now, China, by comparison, which is usually the global leader in economic growth, grew only 3% in 2022. India, by comparison, though, is gonna grow 6%. And remember, anytime there's an economic slowdown, it usually means people are gonna work less, we're gonna make less, we're gonna consume less, therefore companies are going to make less, which is usually a bad thing for the stock market. So for India to grow at 11% over this next decade is pretty insane. So one of the questions I had is, why is India's economy growing so fast, and why is the rest of the world not, and how could I get in on this growth? Now, there's three main reasons for why this is happening: global offshoring, financial transformation, and energy transition. Global offshoring refers to when a country outsources its production to another country. Now, historically speaking, the world just said to India, here, have two of the most important things anyone can do: software development and customer service. But here's the thing. India has the biggest pool of talented engineers in the world, and India has one of the youngest populations in the world. The median age is 28.4 years old, which also...
About population, I didn't know about median age. Didn't know that it's 28 years. Had no idea. It is nice. It is very cool. Sam K, thank you for your message. And you said US, Alex Live, US Cadbury's chocolate isn't the same as the UK Cadbury's chocolate. Amazon sells UK Cadbury's. I never heard about this company. You're telling me this thing which I never knew. And I'm like, what is this Cadbury? Had no idea. US Cadbury. Thank you. Now I will know that you can find Cadbury chocolate brand. Cadbury is owned by Kraft Heinz, an American company, said Wildcat. And yes, but the US have messed up the Cadbury's chocolate brand. I have no idea what is this company. Never heard about this company before. Yeah, it is cool. It is nice. Thank you for sharing. Now I will know.
also really helps them boost their overall economic output. Now, India was also voted as the second biggest market for freelance hire by Upwork in 2020, having 12.6% of the market share. Now, the amount of people that are available for hire is estimated to double to more than 11 million people. And that's because the budget for outsourcing
The number of people employed in India for work outside the country could more than double to 11 millions of people. It is a lot. It will be like 22 millions of people. And Heather, thank you. You said you have had it. Cadbury egg last Easter. I just pretty. I just didn't remember name. Just Cadbury. Wow, thank you for sharing with this. I need to look maybe for company how it looks like. One moment. Let's do this like this. Cadbury. Cadbury eggs. Images. Gosh, I see. This one, yeah. It looks like I remember them. Yes. Yeah, I remember. Wow, thank you for sharing with me, because I did it. It's easy to not remember this thing, like, but for me, like, example, which company US and UK is producing this, in some way I do not, because I never knew this before, and I'm like, wow. But no, it is useful to know such information, because it is helping you to understand some, like, trends. Because, example, who knows, maybe in future these companies will open factories in India. Who knows? It's quite possible, because investments, people they're spreading rumors, and they're like, okay, if company will decide to open factory in India, it is also another sign. It doesn't matter which company, UK or the USA, in some way. If they will decide to do this in India, it means that growth is companies like are trying to be there, because it is beneficial for them. Yeah. Well, thank you, Heather, for your message, and heart to you. Yes, thank you, Heather. You had the one with the fondant feeling that looks like the inside of a real egg. I do not remember this at all. How do you remember all this stuff? How do you remember all this stuff? Oh my gosh. I don't know. Thank you. I just have no idea. Have no idea.
Outsourcing is going to go from $180 billion a year like it is today to over $500 billion a year by 2030. But it's not just customer service and software development. They're also building factories, which is why India's manufacturing is set to increase to 21% of their GDP by the year 2031. Now, the second reason why India is set to crush this next decade is gonna blow your mind. It's because of their digital transformation. In 2009, India came up with a program called Aadhaar. This was a biometric authentication system. So by scanning a fingerprint, a retinal scan, or a facial ID scan, it made it easier for people to access programs like Social Security, to pay taxes, for banking, healthcare, and shopping, and become.
I know that such information, such technologies already existing in China, and pretty often people looking at this like it is quite scary can be. Some people afraid of AI, some people afraid of these biometric systems, but still it is already existing in many countries, like in USA. Like if you want to go, you need to have biometric. In Russia, same situation. In China, same. Like you're doing these biometric passports in Russia. Same in I don't know. In like example, my passport which I did in Russia, it is biometric. It is kind of like they're making photo of your face. It is a little bit like technology somehow. I don't know how it's working. In China, I know they do this too. In Belarus, they do these biometric passports, and in Russia they have these like cards. They like will do these new programs. In India, if they will do this, it is like I feel that people going to this direction in every country, just with different pace. That's kind of like not surprising me. Like all countries doing same movements. Just yeah, like I didn't think about this as that it will improve your economy. I didn't think from this side for sure. Wow.
Because this program is now part of something called India Stack, which is a decentralized utility for payments, it made it a lot easier for people and businesses to apply for credit and loans a lot cheaper and a lot more efficiently than ever before. Now, this was an extremely controversial program when it came out, but a 2018 report found
they can gather such information about your minimal data. The government collects only the data needed to prove identity. It is such as race, religion, education, and profession are not collected. It is not collected. Profession, education, religion, and race.
When it came out, but a 2018 report found that customers actually got better prices and they waited less in line for their food. If a store owner, for example, tried to scam their customers by weighing their rice bags down with hidden pebbles and stones, people actually have the ability to downvote those stores because the government has the ability to shut down underperforming stores. This incentivizes India to build better businesses. Now, this
what I see it's something new that they can shut down store. It's kind of like strange. I don't know. I mean, it is a very strange technology which I never heard about. I mean, like yes, companies and governments, they're creating these biometric systems like passports, visas, I don't know, whatever. But that's all. I mean, like, okay. Because we all wanted you to try it, you probably thought it was too sweet. Virgin Russian taste buds. Yes, I remember. It was too sweet? Was it? Yes. I love chocolate. Wildcat, you said, sadly, I'm not a chocolate fan. I love chocolate, but I love to drink this with tea or coffee. Something hot. It must be hot to drink with you. Just eat it with by itself, it is more complicated. But I love chocolate and sweets. Hello, Jamie Dreams. Happy to see you. Happy to see you, and heart to you, Jamie Dreams. Nice to see you. Ta-da. we are talking about economical growth of India, and I didn't think that it will impact on your line, like in store example, if you will have biometric I don't know, passport, or it will give, they will increase rate, uh, chances for you to receive credit. I mean, it's so strange.
This system, as good as it sounds, may or may not work in the US for privacy and data collection reasons, but the point is, India has a lot more people.
I think privacy and data is all companies around the world same. They're collecting information. Doesn't matter Google, Yandex, or I don't know. All companies, they're collecting data. What are you talking about? And they're all companies sharing this data with governments. And he's talking this. It's everywhere happening. At least I believe so. Maybe I'm wrong somewhere. Please correct me.
And they need to be digitized and brought in and onboarded much faster, which is why the US is much more privileged in this regard. But the point is, India's coming up with some super innovative solutions that is helping supercharge their economic growth. And speaking of financial growth, the amount of households making $35,000 a year will go up from 5.6 million households to over 25 million households by the year 2031. And more income means more spending, which means in theory, India's stock market should go up. Now, the third biggest reason why India is set to crush this next decade is because of the energy transformation. It's estimated that at least 2/3 of India's energy consumption will come from renewable energy sources. As the world
renewable India and renewable resources? Why I'm so skeptical? I mean, it is amazing, it is cool. It is cool, but India, maybe I so know a little bit about this world. Okay, let's look, let's check. Because come on. I mean, it is crazy cool. I'm happy for them if it's so. Oh wow. I'm playing when I'm looking. I'm like trying to. Okay, India projects in India. CNN or wow. Energy projects in India. You can see Ample, I don't know, Energy Transition formerly has launched a solar farm in India that will go towards offsetting Amazon Web Services energy use in the country. They're showing here news renewable energy in India. What about energy projects in India? Nuclear. Nuclear plants projects. At this moment, India plans to add 18 more nuclear reactors to its national energy, bringing the total nuclear power capacity of the country to 22.4 GW, whatever it means, has said in a statement. Right now, 22 nuclear reactors, nuclear power reactors. Who will build them? Who will build them? Because usually people rely on such nuclear reactors, which kind of they're more reliable for sure. India announced plans to build nuclear power plants. Oh, Indian nuclear power expansion includes 4 reactors being built with Russian assistance. Yeah, I know that Russia is building a lot of nuclear, yeah, except cookies. And Russia is building them to which countries? To Turkey, a lot of them. But yeah, I'm skeptical about renewable energy pretty often. Maybe it is my bad. I know that one of the things that it is requires a lot of investments, renewable energy, and I see from this little so-called research. I cannot say this research, but I see that India trying to diversify their energy independence, if I can say so. They're building renewable energy. At the same time, they're building nuclear plants because, like, of course, Russia and India has disagreements, and Western countries and India has these agreements. Just one of the things that increase 60%, 2/3 coming from renewable sources. I didn't hear so much about renewable energy. If I didn't know, it doesn't mean that it is not existing.
India's energy consumption will come from renewable energy sources. As the world transitions from fossil fuels to renewables, India should see massive amounts of investment opportunities and innovations in this field, which will help them become much more efficient, productive, and of course, increase their income and overall economic output. At this point in time, it's pretty much unanimous, and all economists agree that India is set to crush and do really, really well this next coming decade. My question, though, is, knowing all of this information, is it possible for us to invest our money in a way that invests into this bright future so we can make a slightly higher return? I did not know the answer to this question when I first started making this video, but here's what I learned. So here's the best way to invest into India's crazy growth over the next decade. The secret is to buy India's, and that's how you make money really fast.
And he didn't say, because come on, what he's trying to do, I mean, like, to say I don't know, it's fun.
That's how you become rich. Did my audio cut out? In all seriousness, some stocks in India are going to 10x. Some of them will 100x. But finding that one stock is almost impossible. So rather than trying to look for a needle in a haystack, it might be better to consider what are called ETFs, exchange-traded funds, which are bundles of stocks that look for a certain set of criteria. For example, the emerging market. And here are just some of the more popular ETF options people like to invest in to get exposed.
Never, because I'm not this kind of person who is understand what is it. ETF, it is economical fund, I don't know, trades a fund, what is it? I expected more serious conversation, guy, and he's talking about it. Come on, what are you doing? I mean,
exposure to India's stock market. But trying to find that one stock that's gonna 100x your money and make you rich is not a skill that I have. I'm not an expert, and because I have nothing to sell you, I'm just gonna say I don't know which one it's going to be. But before you walk away and before you get disappointed, check this out. This is about to blow your mind. According to Barron's, if you had invested $1 million into the US stock market in December of 1992, today you would have roughly $9.2 million. It's a ton of money. But if you had taken that same $1 million and put it into China's stock market, that money today would be worth $600,000. Not $1 million, $1,000. And if you had taken that same $1 million and put it into India's stock market, today you would have $8.2 million. So still a lot of money, but not as good as the US. The US stock market could still do better over the next 10 years, despite the fact that India might have a higher growing GDP. How does that even work, right? This is because the GDP is not a direct correlation to how well the stock market does. In 2008, for example,
I'm not understanding what he's doing here. Gosh, I was expecting in this video conversation about India, and he's trying to, yes, this comparison, maybe it is good to know, good information, but at the same time, it is like how many people have here $1 million in their pocket. I mean, like, I do not have this money, and even I would have, I would not invest them like to any country. I would invest into own just business. Um, it's, yeah, disappointed from this video completely, because he started to talk about exchange, stock markets. It is so, gosh.
the S&P 500, the stock market, lost 40%. But that same year, the US GDP was down only 4.3%. And then next year in 2009, the US GDP was down 2.5%. It's crazy. You would think that the GDP was a lot more connected to the stock market, but it's not. Now, on the flip side of this, the US GDP averaged less than 2% per year from 2008 up until this point, but the US stock market has averaged 9.15%, including dividends. Another example, in 2020, the US GDP was down 3.4%, but the stock market went up 18.4%. This happens because the stock market is so much more complicated than the GDP or the country's economic output. It also has to do with things like geopolitics, government support, social sentiment, interest rates, foreign exchange rates, central bank powers. It is so much more complicated than any one factor, and it's also why, even though China has had insanely amazing growth over the last few decades, the US stock market still did better. Now, because I don't know enough about world economics, I'm not going to invest my money into the success of another country because I don't know how that will translate to my own investment success over the long term, so I'm going to stick to what I know. And what I know is that the US stock market, which refers to this stock right.
Okay, I understood this video. I was expecting a little bit more serious conversation about India. This video was about India. I'm disappointed completely. Yes, I know that the USA always has amazing stock market. It is good, it is amazing, it is wonderful. But about India, he said no information. About India, I didn't hear like how he was. Maybe I should next time look more better videos where person will not promote you some stock market stuff. It is this nonsense which I didn't want to hear, but more about culture and how they decide problem inside and I'm like with population, what kind of like programs do they have, or maybe why India will have this growth. Yes, if you want to know a little bit more about India, this is video the worst ever, because come on. Half of the video he was talking about stock markets. I think it is stupid. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You're right, Alex. Invest in yourself, and if you can, in your own business. That has been the backbone of US growth over the last 250 years. If I will have $1 million, I will not put this definitely in any stock market. Just own business. Own business, trying to do this business by yourself to, I mean, like, that's all. But this thing which he said, I'm disappointed from this exchange traded fund. Thank you for this information, Wildcat, but I'm disappointed from this video completely, because I looked first 5 seconds of this video and I'm like, okay, it must be something interesting, but I'm not recommending this video for you to watch and this channel because it is sad. I probably need to block this channel because I'm so disappointed. I do not like when people make fool from you. And yes, a long-winded way of saying keep your investment in the US stock market, at least for now. I do not think that, yeah, maybe, like, I'm not maybe a market person, like who is playing with this. I never was doing this. You can find more educated people who is playing this stock market stuff. Maybe one of the reasons because I do not have money for such investments, or maybe because it is usually game for long run, for decades. But if I would have $1 million, of course, obviously what I would do it is just to build for all needs just simple house, another little bit house place where you can do your business, and that's all. No more, no less. I mean, it will be small business that's which will have quite good quality of service. Yeah, that's my view. I do not think that with $1 million you can okay, you can buy to be honest, you can in America $1 million you can buy house. I mean, and it's already investment. It's better to build this house. I don't know. Anyway, back in 2002, I made Steven sell Apple stock so we could be a townhouse. We could buy a townhouse. He will never let me leave that one down. I think that it is, yeah. You was sharing with this situation, Heather, and it is crazy that like to sell Apple and like to buy. Yeah, it is crazy. It is really crazy. I know that I personally would think that if we will talk about economy, world economy, like about India's economy, I think that in future I need to watch and to find better video than this one, because this video was terrible, like terrible. I was completely disappointed because if I want to watch video about stock markets, I would probably try to watch a video about this if I will wanted to do this. But yes, that's maybe I can find another video now about India's economy. It would be because if I want to watch this, why, I mean, like they're giving me another information unnecessary. India, that's what is happening with me when I when I want to have one moment. Economy growth. One moment. I'm checking my internet. I have quite low internet. Yeah, I needed to change my Wi-Fi because, yeah, hope that now it is better. And let's look normal video, try to find better video about India's economy. I'm looking for this video, one moment.
India is the
Let's look. I found one video about car industry in India. car industry. Car industry usually has a huge impact on economy too, like because it is car industry. Usually, companies have like can impact pretty well, like car companies. This video will be short from DW. I trust this. I cannot say that I trust this. So like it's better do not trust to any social media. But let's say like this. Sometimes I'm watching DW because it is kind of useful, interesting, and they're trying to be objective. Not always, but still, at least they're trying. Yeah.
The world's India is the world's third largest car market. More than 5 million vehicles were made in the country last year. The city of Chennai has emerged as the hub of car making in India. It has been nicknamed the Detroit of Asia because auto giants, including BMW, Hyundai, Nissan, Tata Motors, and Mahindra, have a presence there. Meanwhile,
can you hear this? So many cars decided to move to India, and it makes sense. It is cool.
The country's growing middle class is shifting to luxury vehicles from inexpensive cars. But most of the cars made in India stay in the country. Last year, it exported nearly 700,000 vehicles. Now, that pales when compared to other Asian countries. Thailand exported more than 1 million cars, South Korea 2.3 million, China 3.3 million, and Asia's biggest auto exporter was Japan, with around 4.4 million units exported.
Yes, it is crazy. I see a message from the Grimace. Happy to see you. What? You said I'm naked and have a pink. The Grimace, I see that you're having fun. Oh my god, you're so strange person.
Joining us with more is DW correspondent Charu Karthikeyan in Delhi. Charu, India's auto sector has transformed fast, but it's still far behind other Asian countries. Why is that?
Well, a host of reasons, actually. To begin with, COVID made a huge dent in the auto sector, and recovery started only in 2022. And even then, some of the problems still lingered on. And now the semiconductor chip shortage that has been affecting auto sector the world over has been affecting the auto sector in India as well. The supply chain suffered massive disruptions. And what we've seen in the last year or so is that there have been long waiting periods, and especially for SUVs, which sales are rising now, but some of the SUV orders, they've seen waiting time of over a year. Input costs have also been rising. There have been various kinds of inflationary pressures also. Prices continue to rise throughout 2022. They're rising even now. Even two-wheeler prices have gone up and their sales have gone down. So there are many factors which are actually contributing to the scenario at hand. But yeah, things appear to be changing a little bit.
Well, you mentioned a lot of factors there. So, of course, several car makers from different parts of the world, including Germany, on the Indian market. So which ones of them are likely to help drive the growth in that market in the future?
Well, most of them are homegrown brands. Maruti, for example, it continues to be the king, really, of the sector, the big market leader.
Of course, in this modern situation, true reality is like this, that for countries it is better try to create own technologies because like own example car companies, it is expensive, it requires a lot of investment, but it like because for security of countries. Example, if USA producing own cars, it is better, of course, to have them for security of country. Same for Russia, because sanctions can apply for any country, and in order to make your country, and same for China, for Germany, for Japan, for India, to I believe that of course they need to try to produce own cars in order to be uh, independent, because if in case if something will happen, sanctions, and you have nothing. I mean, like, for any country it is better to have own cars, but of course it is just impossible. But India, it is one of the countries which has a lot of manpower, and that's why they can do whatever they can. I mean, yes.
Leader. It has about 40% market share. In fact, some reports suggest it's even more than 40%. Things might change in the future a little bit, because Maruti is yet to focus on electric vehicles. But apart from that, the next spot is occupied by Hyundai. And then there are other homegrown brands like Tata Motors and Mahindra. Most of them are also focusing on EVs. So the future might see a bit of a disruption in the way the automakers are lined up in terms of market share.
Now, you just mentioned electric vehicles there. The Indian government approved a $7 billion plan for electric buses over the next decade. Now, how is the market for electric vehicles and maybe even hybrid cars, if we start talking about green vehicles, developing?
Well, the market is really electric right now, Chiponda, and pun intended. As you can see, there's a lot of there's a lot of focus on public transport as well, because of India's green strategy. And in terms of personal vehicles as well, a lot of people are going for electric vehicles. The market itself.
Yeah, he said about green strategy. I just didn't know about this side of India, that they are trying go towards green, how to say, safe eco technologies. I didn't know about this. Of course, nuclear plants, they can be safe, they're more reliable, let's say like this. But sometimes if something will happen, there will be a huge disaster. Modern nuclear plants, of course, they're a little bit different. If we are talking about renewable solar systems or farms, I think that I don't know. Well, I mean, like, I know that it is necessary to have huge investments. Yeah. And as I can see, they're trying to do this in both directions here. Yeah, I see your message, Sam K. China's EV battery industry is booming. It looks like China, everything, doesn't matter where you speak, everything is booming in China. In India, of course, I believe that everything is booming now. Same like, yeah. The Grimace, I think that you have fun, and I hope that you will have fun for sure. You have definitely interesting life.
It grew by more than 200% in 2022, according to one report that I saw. The homegrown brand Tata Tata Motors, it leads in the electric vehicle segment. The big market leader, as we discussed earlier, Maruti, is yet to focus on electric vehicles, but even Maruti is making hybrids.
Yeah, let's try to look. Biggest auto. Yes, biggest auto company in India, manufacturer. And you can see, of course, it is let's check. Internet is kind of slow, you can see this. I'm sorry. Oops. What the hell? You can see Mahindra, or whatever it is. I don't know what is happening with my... Maruti, he said. Tata Motors is one of the India's and the world major vehicle firms with over 175 countries. Tata Motors, never heard about this. Maruti and Suzuki. Mahindra, it is like you can see 25%. They're producing like tractors, CVs, passenger vehicles. Mahindra, it is a local company of India. Mahindra, let's look. Copy, past, car. Price, I want to see price, because usually you will not be surprised by Mahindra car. Price, India. In India. Rupees 13,000, I don't know. Scorpio. The most popular Mahindra cars in India are Scorpio and Thar. Images maybe we will be able to see. Mahindra. That's how looks this car. Like I don't know, like any car, nothing. No, it looks cool. Somehow it reminds me how it's called, Toyota or maybe Honda, this style. Mahindra Scorpio price. Mahindra Scorpio. Okay, here you can see it looks like Jeep, this one. Yeah, cool. It is always better to have own cars in country. Just it will make like it's so like for, I would say, for own economy, produce your own stuff. It is like HEB here in Texas. They have own policy, and I mean it's just my suggestion. It's just my suggestion that they're trying to everything what is produced in local level to sell this, to support own industry. It makes sense for Texas because, like example, you can see this milk. It is HEB milk, and it is produced in San Antonio. Yes, this milk is produced in San Antonio. Same with cars. If we are talking about, of course, economical growth for India, the most important it is not. It is to support for India, of course, own industry, because for in order to be economically independent. Yes. Imagine driving a tiny smart car around America. I think why not? Why not? Tiny small car. The most important it is I know only one thing, that small cars in car accidents, you will be less chances to you will have less chances to survive in car accidents. But still, it is like small cars. They're amazing. I mean, they're cool. Why not? I have seen some of those brands here in Mexico City. Ginger, I never saw Mahindra car in my life. Never. I never heard about this name of such cars. But yeah, all countries are struggling to a degree at the moment due to the conflict. Yes, all countries struggling, and that's why I'm talking that for countries it is better to have independence a little bit for everyone in order, because while Europe is fighting with each other, for India will have opportunity to have economical growth. It is like amazing for them, and cool. It is. I'm glad that they decided to to think about themselves. It is right decision. And also, of course, it is important to support own like example car companies. I don't know, because pretty often if you will just invite in future, like it will not work on a long run for your like country. Example, you can see there are a lot of manufacturers in China, American manufacturers. America will withdraw them, like, okay, we are closing our factories. China will have instability, economical instability. And India, in order to, like, and it's like happening with many countries, sanctions for Russia show this, that for companies and for countries it is better to be independent, to support own production, like doing this HEB in Texas. It is cool.
So taking hybrids and electric vehicles together,
Yeah.
people are interested in buying them. A lot of infrastructure is also being set up, for example, charging stations. Even residential societies are now building charging stations. So the future does look very bright for electric vehicles.
It's cool.
Charu, thanks for joining us. And it's not just the auto sector. Many areas are booming in India, which overtook China as the world's most populous nation earlier this year. And while it faces very different challenges from its neighbor, the government wants to make India one of the world's biggest economies.
India is a country of superlatives with a growing economy, but it's also facing many challenges. The country aims to have the world's third largest economy by 2030. What makes India so successful? One factor is its population. More than half of the country's inhabitants are less than 30 years old. India has been fast approaching China to be the world's most populous country for a while now. But there are also structural problems, including serious issues with India's job market. Most jobs are low-skilled and poorly paid. For academics, on the other hand, there's too little work because the field is not developed enough yet. Even worse, only 20% of the female population has a paid job.
What?
The Indian school system teaches too few basic skills and trains fewer academics than other industrialized nations.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. To have just population by itself, it doesn't mean that you will have economical growth. You need to have to do some effort for this. I didn't know that only 20% of women there have job. Only 20. It is low. It is terribly low percentage. I mean, like, it is maybe I have just suggestion. It is something cultural. It can be something cultural. Maybe that's one of the reasons. Yes, it can be. It can be something like this. I think it was the Tata. You can in some place. You can. Sorry, I am not following all messages in our chat. Just one of the things that yeah, India has a lot of challenges. Of course, it is important to say that this not interview, but video was made 7 months ago. 7 months ago, it is a lot.
Across Indian schools, particularly in rural areas, children go right up to class 3, 4, 5, grade 3, 4, 5, without being able to read a single line in any language, not just in English, without being able to do simple calculations, including addition and subtraction.
India's economic growth is also reflected in the growing prosperity of many people. The middle class is expanding, and there are increasing numbers of rich people at the top who have money to invest in the economy. India is also #1 globally for mobile internet use, and Apple already prefers to produce smartphones in India rather than in China.
If Apple comes in, for example, it brings in with it not only the Apple technology, Apple's management style, it also brings in the way of doing things.
But India won't be able to rely on market forces alone. To become one of the top nations economically, the country needs strong policies that emphasize education, infrastructure, and businesses.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. Okay, it was interesting just to watch this video. Of course, a lot depends from Indian policy, how they will do this. I mean, how they will try to manage all this stuff, because obviously country has huge challenges in front, and it is understandable, quite understandable. Yes, I think that first video which I watched, it didn't give me understanding about India's situation inside. This 6-7 minute video, second one, it was already more informative that India is inviting after companies in it's not like India inviting also, it's like companies also decided to have this decision to move to India, because to produce in China it is becoming more risk for because of geopolitical situation. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Even if there will be new companies, of course for India it is important to support own business too, or it will kill everything what you had, even because just to invite, yes, it is good, but always important to support your own industries too, somehow to think about both sides. That's what I think. And India, I don't know, I mean, they're smart people, they good, they can they have a lot of scammers in India. It means that they're quite creative. Anyway, yes, I hope that this live stream was interesting for you. I hope that it was interesting for you, and you can leave your message. Women are second-class citizens in India. Oh, Jamie Dreams, thank you for your message and for sharing. They are valued more for marriage than anything else. That's interesting. That's why they can't take over though. But I mean, I'm sure such huge population, they will find some solutions for sure, because come on. And I hope that they will they will be independent economically. It is very important for such big country with a big population, because you need somehow to feed own people. You need somehow to give them, I mean, yeah, that's a very important issue for India, I see. Okay, leave your comments below if you have some questions or opinion, because it was quite strange live stream, because I was Yeah, I was upset from first visit because I wanted to listen only about the India, not about stock markets and some. But it is interesting anyway to know some information because yes, if you have $1 million on long run, of course, it is better to invest in American stock markets. But my advice at the same time, maybe I'm old manner person, it is to build your own business, just own business. Quite simple thing. Anyway, thank you all of you for watching. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your comments. You can leave your comments below too. It is very nice. You can help me on Buy Me Coffee. It will be also cool. Leave there your dollar too, or coffee. It's better to say. And Samke, you say that thank you for your fantastic stream today. It's getting late in UK, and good night. And good night to you, or good day to you. I'm wishing to be yourself, my heart to you, and as always, see you next time.